Hi, this is Brett. This is a quick story about managing in a post-COVID-19 world. In a world where all of a sudden we need to be more agile in our organizations and we need to manage a workforce that's largely working at home all of a sudden. So what are we solving for? Well, it's more than just managing the business. So the leader needs a bunch of things. One is we need the ability as leaders to set the direction, the strategic direction, and reset it as events unfold. And then we need to make sure that we can create alignment across our leadership team, across those new objectives. Then we need to get that cascaded down the organization as accurately and quickly as possible. And then finally, we need to get fast, ongoing feedback on what's really happening. And then we actually need to loop back up and use that feedback to reset direction. So that's what leaders need in this new world. And they need to do it in a way where we're not bumping into people at the coffee machine or the local Starbucks. Employees. What do employees want? Well, a couple of things, maybe even more. They need clear direction. Like short term, what do I do today, this week, this month, and longer term, where are we going based on this new world? Secondly, they need a sense of belonging to the company. Before they had it by hanging out at the office and meeting up with their co-workers and so on. We need to emulate that in a non-same place, same time environment. Thirdly, they need an ability to see that they're making progress against those goals. They aren't meeting with their boss. They're not seeing these day-to-day things. So we need a way of self-affirmation. And also sharing with others who don't see what they're doing, that they're actually working at home and making progress. They also need more frequent check-ins. We need a closer conversation with the organizations about the work we're doing, which achieves us both belonging to the company and being able to see the progress. And then finally, they need an ability to figure out who they should be working with on what. So that's what the employees now need, and things that they used to get by hanging out at the office, we now need to provide in a different way. Third party, the stakeholders. Stakeholders could be investors, they could be regulators, they could be even customers. What do they want? They want transparency on how the company is performing. And secondly, they want to see leadership's priorities and those changes as they happen. That's what we're solving for. So, what if we could get that overall, organization, mission, vision, and cascade that down to what are my annual goals, and cascade those annual goals down to what I need to do this quarter. And I take those quarterly goals and I cascade them down to the key results, right? As measured by what would I see as I achieve those quarterly objectives. And that leads into our day-to-day activities. So that's the structure that already exists. And, maybe the leader says going, a month ago, the strategy was we're going to lead in our markets. And to lead in our markets, there's two things we need to do. Thing one is we need to enter new markets and we got to provide awesome service. To enter new markets, which is our strategy, three objectives. We're going to launch a new marketing campaign in those new areas. We're going to gain new customers that we haven't dealt with before, and we're going to develop sector focuses. Within the new customers, I'm going to expect to see more revenue from new customers and also just more customers in our sales force or other. So as measured by, what are we going to do? We're going to do more cold calling and we're going to build relationships. That will, as measured by, give us more customers, helping us gain new customers and so forth. So that's the going in strategy. Now, along comes the bug. So based on this new world, we might discover, we can't enter new markets. Now's not the time to do those sorts of market-breaking opportunities. So we're going to go back. We're going to revert to getting better share of wallet from our existing customers. So this objective is going to replace entering new markets. What does that mean? Now, again, sitting at home with a leadership team, this new strategy after COVID-19 is better share of wallet, which means we now need to focus on more inside sales. We need to become the trusted advisor to our existing customers, and we need to expand in accounts. And this developed trust advisorship is important. Maybe our customers aren't as active right now as they could be, And this is our chance to be able to level up, be able to show them the new things that we're bringing to the market and so forth. So how are we going to measure that? Well, maybe you're going to measure the amount of time they take a look at the research we lead them to. So as we introduce them to new products and technologies, are they hitting our website and looking at the research? And maybe we're going to see how much time they're actually spending with us. And that time they spend with us, sometimes it's going to be in-person time, maybe mostly it's going to be web time. But the net is we've now made it clear what the organization needs to do. And in fact, as our employees are busy doing those tasks, we can begin to measure performance. Maybe they're getting lots of web time. Maybe they're not getting the in-person time we expected. So that aggregates up to we're slightly off target with the expectations of time and account and so forth. So we can begin to build that performance hierarchy. So we have the top-down strategy. We're now reporting performance bottom-up. And that satisfies the equations we're talking about, right? The leader is able to set direction. We can create alignment across the organization by being clearer on what those shared objectives are. We can cascade the strategy down, and we're getting the feedback on how we're actually performing. For the employee, they get clear direction as it cascades down. I now know what I need to do. I belong to the organization because I understand how I'm contributing. I can see my progress as I do my Salesforce transactions or update my CRM. We have the conversations about performance, and I can sort out who I need to work with to make these things happen. And of course, the stakeholder, they get the transparency in how the organization is performing and what leadership's priorities are. So this structure provides us what we're looking for. And of course, this structure is the OKR structure, right? These are the objectives and key results here. So with that said, even if you don't have this, you're not that far away. I mean, here's a simple checklist. Does your organization have a strategy? Yep. With the right people in the room, do you have the ability to cascade this down, with your leadership team and their direct reports? Of course you do. Do we have the ability to assign owners to these so we understand who's doing what? Of course you do. And then finally, do you have enough data? Do you have the key results that would indicate whether you're achieving these things? And of course, evidence is always more data than we know what to do with. What does that mean? Well, it means effectively your organization is about 5 days away from launching this OKR approach. So that's super important. Even if you don't have it in place, you can have it quickly. So there you have it, a quick overview of what leadership looks like in this new era and how we can enable many of leadership's needs and the employees' needs through such techniques as objectives and key results.